So these are 5 IKEA challenges, starting with challenge 1, going up to challenge 10. Challenge 6 is about IKEA's wood sourcing strategy, which IKEA itself calls force positive. They're being force positive by having co-founded the FSC, the Forest Stewardship Council, who basically give out a badge on sustainably sourced wood or wood products such as paper. You might have seen the badge at points. They also introduced the I-Way standard, to which they hold all the suppliers. It's quite a high standard, actually, and all suppliers need to comply with that standard also during the dealings, not only prior to the dealings, but during the dealings. Otherwise, they will cease being suppliers. And they have defined sustainable as in sustainable wood being FSC standard wood or recycled wood. And by 2020, IKEA reached their goal of only sourcing sustainable wood. Then we should also put 4 possible strategies in order of most effective to least effective. We went for using more recyclable wood first, because cutting down less trees is always better than cutting down a tree. So recycling wood is superior to setting higher standards for suppliers. That also goes for increased particle board, but obviously not all recycled wood ends up being in particle board. Some recycled wood also might make whole wooden pieces that are reused. And then the weaker strategies are driving higher procurement standards and leasing own forest. Leasing your own forest is very effective because you can fully control that own forest. However, it doesn't affect all supply that IKEA uses. So driving high procurement standards is actually more effective than leasing their own land.
Now we're going to move on to challenge 7, which is IKEA service design. So IKEA service design is focused on 2 of the approaches that we've been given. The first one would be the self-service approach, in which the customer takes great role in the production of the service. As we all know, IKEA is known for designing and selling ready-to-assemble furniture at very low prices and offering medium standard quality. This means that the customers are responsible for assembling the furniture they have previously purchased, normally following a set of instructions that they can be found inside of the furniture boxes. Now, every step in IKEA's process is geared towards maximizing customer participation, and it also encourages self-service. This all starts from the self-selection of the items and the self-serve at the warehouse. Then also they give the possibility of self-checkout all the items and the self-transport of all of the products until they reach your homes. The result of this would be a significant reduction in IKEA's shipping and labor costs. Then secondly, IKEA also follows the production line approach, as the service delivery is pretty much treated like manufacturing. We can see that customers are being channeled through the stores on standardized pathways that are designed to maximize the exposure of the product while requiring fewer interactions with the sales staff. And the result of this would be a high volume service at the lowest cost.
Now, looking at the 8th challenge regarding the emotions and how operations management ties into it. In an article written by Professor Felipe on the 6 emotions of customer experience, he highlights that there is actually 6 emotions that customers can experience. Those range from joy through sadness, anger, disgust, fear, and surprise. And depending on how our customers experience these emotions or what triggers those emotions, a different customer experience follows from them. However, in this example, we want to focus on how 2 emotions are managed by IKEA through their product and service design, and specifically how they try to alleviate those emotions from manifesting themselves. Now, the first one we want to focus on is that of anger and frustration. IKEA furniture by nature is DIY/self-assembly, and at times it can be very frustrating to assemble. I mean, I'm not sure if you have done it, but I'm sure a lot of us can relate to having to assemble a large piece of furniture, and at some point it's either frustrating because it doesn't work, because something breaks, or any other hiccup along the way. And so that can get to the point where it's enraging, and IKEA seeks to minimize that occurrence, because if customers feel or either anticipate any type of frustration or anger, they will try to avoid that product. And so IKEA seeks to minimize the occurrence of that by simplifying the assembly of the furniture they offer as much as possible, providing easy instructions that are easy to follow and easy to implement, and on top of that, offering assembly services where an outside party will come to your home and assemble the furniture for you. Now, the second emotion that IKEA seeks to alleviate is that of sadness and disappointment. And that can manifest itself through, for example, poor quality control and user experiences, leading to dissatisfaction on behalf of the customer. Now, if that emotion ever manifests itself, that could lead to a lower recurrence or avoidance of the customer to ever come back to IKEA, as they've made a poor experience because, for example, a piece of furniture didn't last as long, or whatever they bought did not live up to their expectations in terms of the experience they had with the furniture. And so the way IKEA tries to reduce that emotion from manifesting itself is by employing stringent quality control measures and offering excellent customer service and right return policies, ensuring that if there's ever any unexpected dissatisfaction with the product, the customer can either refer to customer service for assistance or return the product altogether.
Hello guys, now I will talk to you about challenge number 9, which is about standardization at IKEA. I will provide some examples and the pros and cons of this business model. The first example that we have is self-service stores. Most of the products in the store are available at hand for customers to pick, buy, and build at home, which significantly lowers labor costs since less employees are required at IKEA. And you're also likely to have the same in-store experience with very little variations, no matter the city you're in. The second example is the same store layout. Most IKEA stores have the same layout on the inside. They are all maze-like paths that lead you through the whole store. And this is a standardized strategy because customers are tempted to grab extra products while walking, since the natural pathway leads you through every single product that is available at the store. And finally, the store locations. IKEA stores are usually located in the outskirts of big cities. This is due to the large containers and furniture big box style that the brand has. And this standardized strategy forces customers to travel all the way to IKEA and buy more due to the long trip that you took to get there. Now I will talk about the pros and cons. One of the advantages is a lower cost for the business, since the company applies the same strategies and sells the same product, benefiting from economies of scale. And apart from this, it is easier to maintain quality standards, which will protect the brand and its prestige. And finally, consumer loyalty will be enhanced, since confusion is reduced and people who already had an experience with a brand or one of its products will rather buy again from that same brand rather than trying a different or a new brand. And now I will talk to you guys about the disadvantages. There are negative aspects about standardization. For example, there is likely to be a lack of adaptation, and this is because all markets are different in many ways, and having a standardized brand or product could limit expansion towards other markets. And another disadvantage is the lack of uniqueness, since products and branding are always the same and the brand could have a hard time innovating. And finally, standardization could have issues with cultural differences, since they may have trouble adapting one same standardized product to sell it in a place with different culture. For example, IKEA had to engage in a very deep market analysis when expanding to China or India due to the clear cultural differences.
So moving on to challenge 10. Traditionally, IKEA uses a make-to-stock strategy in their supply chain. They use demand forecasting when manufacturing their products, which usually have high demand. And in that sense, they follow a lean manufacturing model, whereby they try to limit lead times, reduce waste, and use a push-type production strategy. There's very little customer input in the manufacturing, and this can be seen in the way that they sell the products. As we see from their store layout, when you go to IKEA, you see the products set up already into rooms, like a kitchen, like bedrooms, living rooms, etc., whereby customers can purchase the furniture right away without need to modify anything, usually, which enhances the store experience that they want you to have. One example of an exception to this is the kitchen design experience. There are 3 options that they offer, in which customers are offered different levels of customization and complexity levels. The first is the 3D planner. This is the most advanced option, which allows customers to customize almost everything from appliances, furniture, dining options, and layout. It also allows custom specifications, which whereby you can input your own measurements of your own kitchen to adapt the space that you have and the space of the layout. And this represents a make-to-order strategy, as there is a specific customer order given from the customer specifications, which then begins the manufacturing process. Two other options are the kitchen quick order and the end-head kitchen. Both of these represent assembly to order strategies. The quick order allows you to test different combinations in an already base set kitchen with the ability to change all types of appliances and see the different prices options available. And the end-head kitchen basically consists of ready-made kitchen sets which allow you to change different components, but the kitchen itself is already pre-made. You can edit the colors, you can add appliances, doors, etc. But the components and there are then assembled. Since they're already pre-made, they're assembled based on your decisions, and you can buy them right away as you are looking at the different options.